Welcome to Pop's Party Family, where fun and magic come alive. New videos and shorts every day. Let's laugh, learn, and play. Hey!
He opened a mystery chest, but it was full of scorpions. Part B's you saw in the previous parts of. He opened a mystery chest, but it was full of scorpions. Samuel Carter discovered a mysterious chest hidden beneath his old farmhouse. Instead of treasure, it appeared to contain deadly scorpions. An old legend revealed that only a true member of the Brooks family could see the real treasure. Hoping to find the rightful owner, Samuel displayed the strange scorpions in his store. Little did he know, the answer to the mystery was about to walk through his door. Now, let's continue with Part B. Nearly 20 years passed. Willow Springs had grown into a busy little town filled with coffee shops, bookstores, and smiling families. Samuel Carter was no longer a young man. His hair had turned gray, and his face showed the lines of a life spent working hard. His little store was now the most popular shop in town, but every morning, before opening the doors, Samuel looked up at the 4 hanging scorpions and whispered, "Maybe today." One rainy afternoon, while thunder rumbled outside, the shop door slowly opened. A skinny teenage boy walked in, holding a worn backpack. His shoes were old, and his clothes were neatly patched. Even though he looked tired, his eyes were bright with determination. He politely removed his baseball cap and said, "Good afternoon, sir. My name is Ethan Brooks. I was told you're a kind man who sometimes helps people in need." Samuel welcomed him with a warm smile. "Come in, son. You look freezing." He handed Ethan a cup of hot chocolate and a fresh chocolate chip cookie. Ethan smiled shyly. "Thank you, sir. That's the best thing I've had all day." Samuel joked, "The cookie is free, but the hot chocolate cost $1 million. Ethan's eyes grew wide for a second before Samuel burst into laughter. Soon, both of them were laughing together. After a moment, Ethan's smile faded. "Sir," he said quietly, "my mom works 2 jobs, but we still can't afford my college tuition. I don't want to quit school. I dream of becoming an engineer someday. I was hoping maybe you could lend me some money. I promise I'll repay every penny." His voice shook, but his determination never disappeared. Samuel's smile slowly faded too. He wished he could help, but the truth was different from the rumors people believed. "I'm sorry, Ethan," he said kindly. "People think I'm much richer than I really am. My business pays the bills, but I don't have enough savings to lend such a large amount. If I could help, I truly would." Ethan nodded politely, though disappointment filled his face. As Ethan turned toward the door, he suddenly stopped and looked up at the 4 corners of the store. He frowned in confusion. "Sir, can I ask you something?" Samuel nodded. Ethan pointed toward the ceiling and said, "Why would anyone hang 4 shiny gold coins in the corners of a store? They're beautiful, but isn't that risky? Someone could steal them." For a moment, the entire shop became silent. Samuel froze like a statue. His heart pounded so loudly he could hear it. "Whoa, what did you say?" he whispered. Ethan looked confused. "The 4 gold coins," he repeated. "They're hanging right there. They look old, almost like they belong in a museum." Samuel slowly looked up. He still saw 4 ugly black scorpions. His hands began to shake. Samuel hurried toward Ethan, almost knocking over a display of canned soup. The cans rolled across the floor like bowling balls. One customer slipped, grabbed a broom to keep from falling, and accidentally knocked a cowboy hat onto another customer's head. Everyone burst into laughter, but Samuel hardly noticed. Looking straight into Ethan's eyes, he asked, "Son, what's your last name again?" "Brooks," Ethan answered. "My family says my great-grandfather once owned a big house here before they lost everything." Tears immediately filled Samuel's eyes. His voice trembled with excitement. "I've been waiting for you, or someone like you, for almost 20 years. Ethan stepped back nervously. "Sir, Are you okay? Samuel laughed and cried at the same time. I think today is the happiest day of my life. The customers stared in complete confusion. One whispered, Did the old man finally lose his mind? Another quietly replied, Either that, or we're about to witness something incredible. Samuel locked the front door, flipped the store sign to closed for a family emergency, and rushed toward his old farmhouse with Ethan following behind. Neither of them spoke during the walk. Samuel's heart raced with hope, while Ethan had no idea why this strange shopkeeper was smiling from ear to ear. Hidden inside Samuel's house was an old wooden chest that had waited for decades. In just a few minutes, its unbelievable secret would finally be revealed. And the greatest twist of all was about to change Ethan's life forever. Ethan opens the mysterious chest. What he sees inside shocks everyone. The ancient family secret is finally revealed, leading to an emotional ending, a powerful life lesson, and a moral you'll never forget. Samuel unlocked the front door of his old farmhouse with trembling hands. He led Ethan into a small room that had remained untouched for nearly 20 years. In the corner stood a large wooden chest covered with a white cloth. Dust danced through the sunlight as Samuel slowly pulled the cloth away. I've been protecting this chest for someone from your family, he said softly. Ethan stared at the mysterious box, wondering why it felt strangely familiar. The old chest was still as beautiful as the day Samuel had found it. Flowers, leaves, birds, and twisting vines were carved into the wood. It looked like something from a fairy tale. Samuel smiled and stepped back. Go ahead, Ethan. Open it. Ethan swallowed hard. His hands shook as he slowly lifted the heavy lid. The room became so quiet that they could hear the ticking of an old grandfather clock. The moment the chest opened, Ethan gasped so loudly that Samuel nearly jumped. Inside were sparkling gold coins, shining silver coins, colorful gemstones, diamond necklaces, and beautiful jewelry that glittered like tiny stars. The entire room seemed to glow. Ethan could hardly breathe. This can't be real, he whispered. Tears filled his eyes as he gently picked up one of the gold coins. Samuel smiled through his own tears. To me, that chest has always looked full of scary black scorpions, he said. But Mr. Henry Walker told me that only a true member of the Brooks family would see the real treasure. The moment you said you could see gold coins hanging in my store, I knew my long wait was finally over. Ethan looked at Samuel with complete amazement. He couldn't believe that a stranger had protected his family's treasure for so many years. Samuel told Ethan the whole story from the beginning, how he had bought the old farmhouse, discovered the chest under the floor, screamed when he saw the scorpions, and later learned about the ancient family blessing. He explained why he had hung the 4 scorpions in the corners of his store. Ethan listened with wide eyes. Every piece of the mystery finally fit together like a giant puzzle. Overcome with gratitude, Ethan said, Mr. Carter, this treasure belongs to both of us now. If you hadn't been honest, I would have never found it. Please take half of everything. Samuel laughed warmly and shook his head. No, son, I never protected this treasure to become rich. I protected it because it was the right thing to do. Real wealth isn't measured by how much gold you own. It's measured by the goodness in your heart. Just then, Grandma Helen, Samuel's cheerful neighbor, walked into the house carrying a freshly baked apple pie. She looked at the mountain of treasure and nearly dropped the pie. Well, she laughed, I came to bring dessert, but it looks like somebody already found the world's biggest tip jar. Everyone burst into laughter. Even Ethan laughed so hard that a gold coin slipped from his hand and rolled across the floor. Samuel picked it up and joked, Careful, that's probably the most expensive game of marbles ever played. The news spread across Willow Springs faster than a summer storm. Reporters, neighbors, and friends gathered outside Samuel's store. Everyone wanted to hear the unbelievable story. The mayor even gave Samuel a special Community Hero Award for his honesty and kindness. People clapped, children cheered, and many said they had never met a man with such a pure heart. Samuel simply smiled and said, Doing the right thing is its own reward. Ethan used the treasure wisely. He paid for college, helped his hard-working mother, restored his family's old farmhouse, and created a scholarship fund so children from poor families could continue their education. Samuel remained his closest friend and became like the grandfather Ethan had always wished for. Together, they often laughed about the day Samuel had run away from a box full of scorpions. That funny memory became one of their favorite stories to tell. Years later, visitors still came to Willow Springs to hear the amazing story. Some believed it was magic. Others believed it was simply a miracle. But everyone agreed on one thing. If Samuel had chosen greed instead of honesty, the treasure would never have reached its rightful owner. Sometimes the greatest treasure isn't hidden inside a chest. It is hidden inside a person's character. And remember this, when you choose honesty, kindness, and patience, life has a wonderful way of rewarding you when you least expect it. True honesty means doing the right thing, even when no one is watching. Kindness, patience, and integrity may not bring instant rewards, but they build trust, respect, and happiness that last a lifetime. Moral of the story: never keep what doesn't belong to you. An honest heart is worth far more than any treasure, and good deeds always find their way back to the person who does them.
Thank you for watching. We're so glad you're here. Like, share, subscribe, and spread the cheer. Join the Hop Street family.